I'm Liz McAlister with the Jonah House community in Baltimore, Maryland. And I've been asked to speak about Jonah House, Dorothy Day, and the witnesses that go on in DC around the Pentagon, the White House, the Department of Energy. Let me divide it and say a few words first about Jonah House, and then a few words about Dorothy Day, and then how we tried to come together. The community was founded in June of 1973, which later became known as Jonah House, in order to create a kind of community that could sustain people in resistance to the Vietnam War. And we stayed with resistance to the Vietnam War until our troops were thrown out in April of 1975. But in the meantime, we learned of a change in our nuclear policy from MAD to FTO, flexible and strategic targeting options, which retargeted our nuclear missiles from Soviet cities to their weapons facilities, and then began to try to develop a disarming first strike capability. That was the commitment. And we felt that we needed to be focusing on that. And we began studying it and learning it, and then after we were thrown out of Vietnam, we began trying to act on that, and found the Pentagon and the White House as focal points for this resistance. And we began working with a concept of faith and resistance retreats. We called them faith and resistance retreats later because others were using that term and it sounded good. And basically what we were trying to do with our retreats, which involved reflection, action, reflection, trying to maintain that dynamic. As others have said, we also try to develop a theme for each retreat, have a reflection session or sessions on that, discussion of that, action planning, action evaluation, and repeat that process through those retreats. We do those retreats 3 times a year during Holy Week, for the anniversaries of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then after Christmas for the Feast of the Innocents. Those are dates that have been very, very meaningful to us. And for years and years, these were located mostly at the Pentagon. Now we tend to focus Pentagon, White House, and sometimes DOE or elsewhere in the District of Columbia. The pillars of Jonah House are nonviolence, community, resistance. And we try our best to live those, and we welcome student groups, at least 4 to 5 each year for a week at a time, to share our life and our philosophy with them. Let me say that Susan Crane from the community has developed a website, www.jonahhouse.org, and you can check that out at any time. She does a very good job on it. Dorothy Day as a community was founded, I believe, in 1984, and we began cooperating on our actions shortly after that. And in addition to the actions that we cooperate on, the Dorothy Day Catholic Worker community does a weekly vigil at the Pentagon every Monday morning. And they move it to Tuesday mornings when Monday is a holiday. Jonah House tends to join with them on the last Monday of each month. And they also do a weekly vigil Friday at noon at the White House. And these would touch different issues depending on what is coming down at any given time. But they do become focal points. Good. And that's who we are. That's what we try to do. Yeah, I'll finish.